Our last rule, rule number 5, collect citation information. You will be asked to use a bibliography to cite all of the websites and books that you used. There are different rules for citing books and articles. We will focus on citation information for books first. If you are looking to cite a book, you will need to find who wrote the book or the author, the book title, where the book was published, who published the book, and what year it was published. Let's start with the book title and author. These are the easiest. The book title can be found on the front cover. For instance, this book about Carrie Strug was titled Landing on My Feet. The author was Carrie Strug, but in addition, I have to include the author John Lopez as well, who helped out. Sometimes there is more than one author. I also have to include where the book was published, who published it, and when it was published. This information usually comes a few pages after you open the book and find the title page. This is kind of what it would look like in this image. So if you look at this image from the book Landing on My Feet, we see that the publisher was Macmeal Publishing. That's who published it. Where it was published, or the city, was Kansas City, Missouri. And the when was 1997. A lot of times you will find the word copyright or see the little C. This identifies when the book was published. Now let's move on to the rules for citing articles. If you're citing a website or an article that you used, you need to include the website title, article title, author, publication date, and when you accessed this article. Let's start with the website title, or better known as the URL. It should be on the top of the page, usually starts with www or HTTP. Make sure to copy down the entire link or hit copy and paste if you're doing your notes online. If you look at this search, I have noted what the entire URL is. Sometimes URLs are short, sometimes they are very long. It is important to get all of the information included. What about the article title? Well, this is usually found at the top of the page, and it comes before the written information. The title that I used on one of my articles was The Lowdown on Gymnast Carrie Strug. It was found right before the author went into the information they found about Carrie Strug. Next, you need to find the author. This can be a little bit more difficult. It can come before the article. It can come after the article. It's important to look for the keywords author, by, or written. And it's very important to know that there's not always an author for every website or article used. For instance, the Lowdown article that I used on Carrie Strug, right before the information was given, I found the word by Amy Van Dusen. This was the author. This is who I would cite in my information. Publication date. When was it published? It can come before the article. It can be found at the bottom of the page. You're going to look for keywords like updated, published, written on, or the copyright we talked about before. The copyright usually has this symbol. In the article The Lowdown on Carrie Strug by Amy Van Dusen, before she even wrote information, they gave the publishing date of June 19, 2018. Now, when I looked up another article, I had to scroll to the very, very bottom of the page, and I found the copyright was 2019. So using two different articles, they were found in two different places. One was near the top before the information in one was on the bottom. Now, if you notice, sometimes they're very specific about the date where they give a month, a day, and a year. Sometimes they're not as specific, they just use the year. Copy whatever information they give you. The date accessed. This is simply the day that you use the article. It's nothing more. So if I was searching on February 22nd and I found an article that I was using, I would write as my date accessed 2/22/2019. Remember these notes when researching your Genius Hour topic in question. It will help you use credible sources and become successful.